Our third striker signing of the summer transfer window has been confirmed today. Welsh international Kieffer Moore has put pen to paper to join us on our championship journey this season. Phil Parkinson made it so apparent that he was after another striker in the transfer window, and it looks as if he's got our man. Let's get talking first on Kieffer Moore's journey throughout his successful career to date. This could be a big signing for Wrexham. With the transfer fee that we've paid for him, this could be one that excites a lot of fans. So before we get going into today's video, I say every video, make sure to subscribe if you're looking for the best Wrexham content on YouTube. Like I said, there'll be plenty of transfer news coming your way. This season's just over a week away. There'll be plenty of signings, departures. It'll all be covered on this channel. So like I said, make sure to subscribe. We're on the road to 29,000 subscribers. It's free to do so. And let's go for 600 likes for the signing of Kieffer Moore. And without further ado, let's get looking at a profile on our new striker. So Kieffer Moore did spend his early days of his career in non-league, surprisingly for Truro City and Dorchester Town in the National League South, after being released and being part of that Torquay United youth setup from a very young age. Now his days at Truro and Dorchester were really caught on by scouts of high league clubs. He got a move to Yeovil Town in the Championship. He made that step up from, playing National League South football to straight to the Championship, where he did make quite a few appearances for Yeovil in the Championship. And ever since that move to Yeovil, he's sort of made a name for himself in the EFL, of course playing for the likes of Yeovil Town. He played for Barnsley, Cardiff City, Bournemouth, Sheffield United, so he's been around the block. He's gained experience at a lot of different clubs. He's been at clubs where, he's scored goals wherever he's been, and in the EFL in total he's played 286 appearances, scored 93 goals. 60 of those goals have come in the league that Wrexham are competing in this season, the EFL Championship. So we're signing a striker that's got that experience, that's played a whole load of games, and of course with those games comes goals that he scored. He's also had a small stint in the Premier League for AFC Bournemouth, playing 35 times, scoring 5 goals. If I'm right in saying Kieffer Moore did actually score the goal that got Bournemouth promoted to the Premier League against Nottingham Forest, so he deservedly got his move to the Premier League. 35 games, 5 goals. It's not the best, but you're looking at the experience as well that he has got in the Premier League, playing against some of the best defenders in the world. Again, he's only going to do him and his career the world of good. And as well, on the international stage, he is a Welsh international, so me and all the Wrexham fans know all about Kieffer Moore. He's been an ever-present in a Wales shirt over the past 5 or 6 years, I'd say, especially in major tournaments as well. Represented Wales at Euro 2020, at the World Cup in Qatar. He was a key player for us, playing in that front line for Wales. And if you're looking at his career, he's had such a successful career. 49 caps for Wales and scoring 14 goals across the way. Now all the Welsh Wrexham fans watching this video will all remember celebrating his goal in Euro 2020 in our first game back against Switzerland. So he's been an ever-present. Like I said, there'll be hundreds of thousands of people that are well aware of Kieffer Moore and his performances in a Wales shirt, renowned for putting his body on the line, getting stuck in. Kieffer Moore with his headband around his head, we've seen that on 2 or 3 different occasions, so he loves to get stuck in. He plays for the badge on his shirt, and we've seen some many good moments of Kieffer Moore in a Wales shirt, and to date as well, he's still consistently playing in the Wales squad. So what can we expect from Kieffer Moore? I think it's quite self-explanatory. Standing at 6'5", we can expect Kieffer Moore to be a striker that will suit the setup really well at Wrexham Football Club and suit the profile of striker that Phil Parkinson has had over the past couple of years and wants taken that step up to the Championship. Now, having watched him, of course, a lot for Wales, I've seen him quite a lot of times on numerous different occasions. He's coming into Wrexham to be that target man, that player who will have good hold at play. He'll win the flick-ons for the strikers or the wing-backs to run onto if the flick-ons, of course, are diagonally, or, you want that striker that's running in behind that good pace. Ryan Hardy, we've seen him say in his interview that he likes to chase lost balls and will chase every other ball, the flick-ons, etc. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Kieffer Moore and Ryan Hardy play in that first game away at Southampton, having Kieffer Moore, winning the flick-ons, Ryan Hardy anticipating, making that run in behind the blind side of the defender. I think it could really be a good combination, and one that could obviously be successful throughout the season. And as well, you're looking at Kieffer Moore, he's going to be a threat from corners, free kicks, etc., just from set pieces in general. With his height, with his strength, he is a beast of a striker. So I think this is, again, a really good player to have in the Wrexham setup, and an upgrade on what we do already have in terms of that field of probably target man strikers. You're looking at Ollie Palmer, quite limited in who we have that can play that role this season. And his stats last year for Sheffield United really do just speak for itself, and I think speaks for the player that he is going to be for us. 124 aerial duels won, that's an average of 5.82 per game, and overall he won 178 duels in a Sheffield United shirt. Now, considering he didn't play all the minutes in the world last season for them, he gets stuck in, and the ball is going to be glued onto Kieffer Moore's head, and best believe, like I said, the ball is going to get lumped onto his head on multiple different occasions for us this season, because that's the type of striker he is. We can rely on him to hold the ball up, lay it off to either the wing backs, the midfielders, just to create that opening. And I think Kieffer Moore will sort of have that bigger role than what people expect going forward for us this season. Like I said, he's very versatile in terms of what he can do to his game. He's a good finisher, he'll be in the right place at the right time, he can hold it up well, the flick-ons. I think there's a lot of attributes to his game that could really benefit us this season. Yeah, and as well, 6'5", gets stuck in, he'll be doing the dirty work in a Wrexham shirt for us up to front, and he'll be a real nuisance to the defence, and I think his presence and qualities will hopefully get the best out of the striker he's playing alongside as well. Like I just touched on, a player like Ryan Hardy, a player like Sam Smith, who are going to get on the flick-ons and just create those chances for the striker that he's playing alongside. I think his game is a lot less selfish than the other striker that he's going to be playing on, because it's going to be his role to hold the ball up, get those flick-ons and create the chance for the rest of the team. Of course, he'll chip in with a couple of goals as the season goes on, but if you're looking at Kieffer Moore as a striker, he could be an asset scoring goals and creating them as well. I think it's a common theme across players that Wrexham have signed in the transfer window. People are judging Kieffer Moore by his career at Sheffield United and his spell at Sheffield United. He spent one season at the club, played 30 games, scored 6 goals, and they're all saying, oh, it's a bad signing, you're signing our dead wood, and it's a massive bonus for them that he's off their payroll, etc. But it's a regular occurrence for a player not to excel in a new environment. Of course, he came into Sheffield United's side under Chris Wilder. It's normal for a player not to suit the system or not to exceed under a certain manager in a certain environment, and I think Parky obviously sees Kieffer Moore as a player that will improve the quality of our strike force this season, and he obviously fits the profile of this type of striker Phil Parkinson wants. And if we're looking at the team in general, like I said, those target man strikers, you're looking at who could probably play the role that Kieffer Moore's going to play. Not so much a target man, but you've got Ollie Palmer, we had Stephen Fletcher last season, he's obviously not on the cards at Wrexham anymore. Jay Rodriguez. If we're looking at overall just improving the squad, improving the quality of the player that's going to play in that position, Kieffer Moore is going to be our best player in that sense. So it's not like he's coming into the club and hasn't scored goals in the past. He's got a whole array of experience across the Premier League and the EFL in general. He knows the league inside out with his spells at a lot of different clubs, Bournemouth, Cardiff, Barnsley, etc. So bringing a striker of his calibre and his experience in, I think is going to be really, really good. And as well, for £2 million, you can't really have too many complaints. The original fee, I think, was rumoured to be around £4 million, which, yeah, it's not really too great of a fee for a 33-year-old that's turning that in a couple of days' time. But for £2 million in a package like that, you can't really be complaining. He's Welsh, he's going to know, obviously, the story of Wrexham, what it means to the fans. He's going to play, like I said, for the badge on his shirt of Wrexham, to represent Wales, to hopefully get Wrexham as the biggest club in Wales this season. He's going to be licking his lips at the possibility of what Wrexham can achieve this season, of course, with a big exposure to the club. If he can be the player that leads us to victory, then he's going to feel great about that. And I think his years of experience, specifically at this level, is going to be really, really vital for us, and I think he'll be a lot more appreciated here, being a Welsh international, of course, than at Sheffield United, because yeah, he wasn't really treated too well by the Sheffield United fans. They're all happy to see him go, but it's a fresh start, it's a fresh environment at Wrexham Football Club, and I'm sure Parky will get the best out of him, and I'm sure he won't have much of an issue coming into the squad and becoming a real key asset for us this season. And as well, you're looking at this, his Welsh career. Wales have got the World Cup 2026 coming up next year in the USA, Canada, etc. So if Kieffer Moore can get that regular game time in a Wrexham shirt and obviously solidify himself in that Wales squad going into the World Cup and be really confident in the World Cup qualifiers, then it's a win-win situation on both ends. So that is it for today's video. Welcome to Wrexham, Kieffer Moore. It's a big signing in my opinion, one that might go under the radar a bit, but I think one that will also satisfy and please a lot of Wrexham fans. Obviously, being the Welsh international he is, we've watched him so many times before. We appreciate what he's done in a Wales shirt, we appreciate what he can bring obviously to the Wrexham team that he has done in a Wales shirt and across the teams he's played for in his career. We're expecting him to be a real nuisance up front, and I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if he comes to Wrexham and becomes an immediate fan's favourite, because he's that type of striker that you just love watching up front and you can appreciate really easily for obviously what he puts himself through every single week. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Are you happy with this signing of Kieffer Moore? Of course, we're seeing two strikers come into the club, Kieffer Moore and of course Nathan Broadhead, in a massive £7.5 million deal. that deal's still being worked on. I think by the time this video comes out, all three might have been announced. Connor Cody, obviously Kieffer Moore and Nathan Broadhead. So it's been a busy couple of days for Wrexham. Do I expect this to be the end of the transfer business? In terms of incomings, yeah, I think it might be. If anything, there might be one more signing through the door. I think it's all gone a bit quiet on Juan Camilo Portilla, obviously of Terreyes in Argentina. So I don't know what's happening on that front. I think Atletico Mineiro was showing interest in him, so we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But in terms of outgoings, I think there still will be a few to leave the club, because we've got like 34, 35 players on the books. We can only have a 25-man squad going into the Championship season, so I'm expecting like 6 or 7 players to leave. I'm sure there's deals being worked on behind the scenes. But until the next video, take care guys. Up the Championship Reds.